Test mic. What's up, guys? Learning with Rich here. In this video, we are going to talk about creating system piping in Revit MEP. All right, so just a bit of a background. System piping is a 3D representation of the sections of pipe to be used in the building mechanical system. So, pipe fittings are 3D representations of the connections and transitions among various sections of a pipe. So, pipe systems are collections of what? It's a collection of piping and pipe fittings that are used to create piping of a particular type or for a particular purpose. So when placing the pipe of a given pipe system, the pipe fittings used in the pipe type families is specified in the type properties. So you can check it here on the type properties of that system, and it's automatically inserted to create the piping run. Okay, so that's how it works. So for this exercise, we are going to create a hydronic return piping system. Okay, so let's say, for example, in this project, you are placing an air-cooled chiller outside the basement of a building. So as you can see, there's your chiller insertion point. So this chiller will charge or will discharge to a base mounted pump. So as you can see, I also have here the placement for the pump. Okay, so this chiller will discharge to a base mounted pump which will circulate the chilled water throughout the building. So we will be doing the following, like we're going to place mechanical equipment, and then after that, we're going to create the hydronic return system layout. And then we're going to edit piping system properties. And let's also try to size the piping system. Okay? Because just like what we have in our ductwork, so we can also do sizing here on our pipe. Okay, so let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a mechanical equipment here. So to do that, let us just go to the systems, then look for mechanical equipment, and then we'll be looking for the chillers. Where's the chiller? This one, the M standard M air cooled chiller. So I select that one. So before you pick the placement of your air cooled chiller, you can press spacebar as you can see to rotate it. Okay. Alright, so just like this one, so I'm going to place it now here on the insertion point. So just place like that. And then after that, I select here, modify. As you can see here, if I click, notice that it has a connector here for your return and then your supply. Okay, so as you can see, if I'm gonna edit this family, so I select this one and then edit the family. To go to the family editor, as you can see, there's the connector here. So this connector is your supply, the hydronic supply. The other one here is the hydronic return connector. Okay, so it's up to you what connector do you want to connect your pipe to create your system. So you can either create a hydronic supply system or hydronic return system. Okay, so I'm now going to close this one to go back to the project. All right. So this is where you create your supply. This is where you create your return system. Okay, so after we place the mechanical equipment, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to place our pump here. So our chilled chiller will discharge to our pump, and our pump will circulate it. Okay, so the pump will circulate the chilled water throughout the building. So let's insert our mechanical equipment here. So from the systems, mechanical equipment, drop down, look for base mounted pump. So the size of the pump that we'll be using here is, let's look for 100 and 150. So let's use this one. Again, before I place my pump, I'm going to press spacebar 3 times. There you go. And then I'm going to place it here. Click. All right. And then modify. Okay. Now, what we are going to do next is we're going to create a return system layout. Okay. So you can do it manually, or if you want, you can do it like this. So to do that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the coil here, this one. You see this? So there's this AHU coil. It's actually a mechanical equipment, this one. So if we check that on the 3D view, this is how it looks like. So this one. So this is another mechanical equipment that we have here. So we are going to include this to our system. So your refrigerant indoor AHU coil. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And also, I'm going to select the other coil here, which is this one. So I'm going to select both. Okay, so after you select both, so this two equipment has its own connectors. So I'm going to select both, and then from the create systems, so you can create two system here. You can create a duct system or piping system. Why? Because it consists of connectors for the duct and connectors for the pipe. That's why you have here two types of system that you can create, which is duct and piping. Okay, so for this exercise, we are going to create a piping system here. So I select this. There you go. And then for the system type, let's try to create, instead of hydronic supply, let's create hydronic return. Okay. As you can see, this system type that you are seeing here from the list. So these are the connectors that this equipment has. Okay. So it contains hydronic supply connector, hydronic return connector, and it also has the other type of connector and sanitary connector. Okay, so that's why you are having these types of system here. So for this one, I'm going to select, let's say we are going to create a hydronic return. So I select return. Okay, and then for the name, let's say I'll just call this CHWR. So let's say it stands for chilled water return. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to select this one, open in system editor. So what will happen is, if this one is tick, once I select here OK, it will open the system editor. Okay, so let's try to do that. So I'm going to select OK. There you go. So as you can see, the system editor opens. So what we're going to do, the reason why we open the system editor, we want to include our chiller here to the system, because at the moment we only have the two coils here, part of the system. So we want also to include this one as the equipment. So to do that, we are going to select equipment. So you click that one, and then after that, you click your chiller. Just click that, and there you go. So it's now here. You see the system equipment here is the M standard, and then you have number of elements too, which is the two coils here. And then that's the system name. Okay, right. So I'm going to finish now editing the system. There you go. So if I'm going to hover my pointer to one of the element that is part of the system, for example, the chiller, and then I press tab, and then I click once, notice that it highlights those elements or equipments that is part of the system, right? Okay, so let us generate now our layout. Okay, of course you can create it manually, right? So you can use the pipe system here, or the pipe tool here. You select that, and then make sure the system type here is hydronic return, just like that. And then you can connect that to the connector of the hydronic return and connect it here as well. But I'm not gonna do that, so let me just generate it automatically. All right. So because once you generate it automatically, you can still edit that one. Okay, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you how to generate it automatically and then how to edit it manually. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and select the chiller. And then there's the layout panel wherein you can generate the layout. So I'm going to select generate layout. There you go. And then for the solution type, I'm going to select here. Okay, let me use the network solution, and then let me hover up other solution here. So we have 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5, and 5 of 5. For this one, let me just use here 4 of 5. take note that I'm working on the 3D view, but of course, you can still work on the plan view if you prefer that. Okay, so in this exercise, I'm working on the 3D view. Okay, but then again, you can also work on the plan view, okay, if you want. And also notice that there's a blue line here that will be your main pipe. And then there's your green pipes that will gonna be your branch pipes. And as you can see, it's all connected to the part where there is the return connector. Okay, the hydronic return connector. Hydronic return connector. There you go. Okay, so let's say for example, I want the network for a 5. So I just select that one, and then I'm now going to finish the layout. Okay. Oh, before I finish the layout, let me just show you one technique here, because you can also, okay, you can also move the lines there. So let me just go back to the solution. 4 or 5, this one. See, you can click here, edit layout. You can click that, and then you can see your pointer. You can hover that to the pipe there. So let's say I'm going to click this. Okay, I'm going to move that here. Okay, so that it has enough space there. Okay, you can also do that. So let's say for this one, I click. Okay, right? So once you're done, so you can now select finish. Okay, just finish layout. Click that one, and there you go. Okay, let's just close that warning. All right, so you now have your layout. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is, let's try to edit the piping system property. Okay, so here, I'm gonna close the existing views, and then I'll close the other view here. Okay, there you go. So I only have the 3D view. Now I'm gonna open the one, the schmec. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to tile it so I can see the 3D view and then the plan view. Okay, so there's my 3D. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I want to manually edit this one because I want to include the pump to the connection. So what I want to do is I want a connection from the pump connected to this pipe here. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the pipe. Okay, so to split the pipe, it's like break in AutoCAD. So to split it, so I go to the modify, I select here split element, or you can also type SL, and then delete inner segment. So I'm gonna check that one. So I'm gonna pick somewhere here, then I'm going to pick somewhere here. There you go. So it's now split, and then you see there's a small connector there. There's a straight coupling fitting. So I'll just select that and then delete. I don't need that. So same with the other side. So every time you split your pipe, it leaves a pipe straight coupling. All right, there you go. Okay, next. So the next thing that we are going to do is let us make sure that they are aligned. Okay, because let's check out if our pump here is aligned with here. So to do that, let us create first a short segment of pipe here. Okay, so pipe that is going up. Okay, pipe that is going up. So we're going to create a small pipe here going up, and then drag it somewhere here. So we are going to connect that to this pipe here. So you can actually do that here in the 3D view, or you can also do that here in the plan view, as long as you know the elevation. Okay, or you can also go to your section view. You can create a section here, and then from the section you can create there the pipe. Okay, in the plan view, as long as you know the elevation of the pipe where you want to connect that. For example, we want to connect the pipe that we will be generating from here to this pipe. So you just click this pipe, and then you can see there the elevation already. Okay, so you can create it here from the plan view, but if you want, you can create a section. So I'm going to create a section just like that. Okay, and then let me open the section view. Go to view. There you go. Okay, So as you can see, our pipe here represents a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the detail level to 5. Okay, so that's now the pipe. Let me just change to shaded view. All right, there you go. So I'm going to create a pipe here. So what's the size of this one? So the size of this is what? 100 mm diameter. Okay, so 100 mm diameter. So let's create a pipe. So I'm going to select this pump here, and then as you can see, I'm going to click this to create a pipe. There you go. And then I'm gonna make sure that it will be aligned here. Okay, there you go. So it's aligned, and then just create here a short segment. So that's it. So just to make sure, I did not connect it straight away to this pipe here because I just want to make sure that they are properly aligned. So that's why I'm gonna open the one mech here, the floor plan, and then I'm going to align it. Okay, let me align that one. So using the align tool, this one. So I want this to be aligned here. Okay, so at least they are already aligned. Just making sure that they are aligned. Now, so let's connect this. So you can use this trim extend to corner to connect this one and then this one, right? Just make sure they are properly aligned. So there you go. So they are now connected. All right. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is you see there's another um, inlet here, inlet connector, wherein you can create a 150 mm pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pipe here and then going up, and then I want that to be connected to this pipe. Okay, so let's do that one. So let me go to the floor plan, and then let me just click this, and then let me just move it somewhere here. All right, so that it's not too close. Okay, so going back again to my section here. So I'm gonna click this. Let me just generate this type of pipe. I'll just create a short segment here and then going up and then create a short segment. There you go. So this is 150. So again, I did not connect that because you see it's not aligned, right? So let me go to the floor plan and then let me align this to here. Okay, so I'm going to select the align tool and then let's connect from here to here. There you go. So they are now properly aligned. Okay, so you are now ready to connect that. Let's connect. One, two. There you go. Okay, you see? So basically, it's not that difficult, right? So as long as you know what you are doing, okay, so you will not be uh, you will not be able to create a wrong layout. Okay, so you can do it manually. So if you click that, so as you can see, it's a return system. Okay, so it's a return system. Okay, and another thing that you can do here is you can also do a uh, piping sizing, right? Sizing your pipe. So what is this sizing? What is this pipe sizing? So you have that also in your ducting, right? So the methods of pipe sizing here, it uses certain piping element properties in sizing the pipe. So the material of the pipe determine the roughness, and pipe fittings used in the pipe type family determine the algorithm to be used in the sizing of the pipe. Okay, so what am I talking about? So let me open the piping system. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select just a segment of my pipe here. So I'm just going to zoom in somewhere here. Okay, and then after that, so let me just select just a segment. So let's say I'm going to click this pipe here, the vertical riser, or I think it would be better if I select it here. So I select this one. There you go. And then after that, you see there's an analysis here. So you can select duct piping system. All right. So I'm going to select this. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, before that, because as you can see, it's too close. So before that, let me just select and move that. So I'm going to move that vertical riser here about 1 meter or 1000 mm. Okay, just like that. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move my cursor, like for example, somewhere here. You see, I'm going to hover my pointer and then press tab, and then I click. Okay, or you can also do it here because I can't see it here clearly because it's color green. So I'm going to hover my pointer somewhere here. Okay, and then I'm going to press tab once, and then I'm going to click. There you go. Right. So I'm going to select here the duct pipe system, duct pipe sizing. So let's click that one. There you go. So you can specify here the sizing method. So let's say for this exercise, I'm going to use here the how about velocity? Okay, so I use the velocity only. Velocity and friction. Okay, so for the velocity, I'll just use the default settings here. But for the friction, I think I'll use here 250. Okay, so 250. And then I'm now going to select here, okay. So that's it. There you go. You see, it sizes based on the settings that you have uh, specify on the duct pipe sizing system. Okay, so for the methods for piping system, for pipe sizing, I mean, a velocity, when you say velocity, a pipe is sized based on the velocity specified in the pipe sizing dialog box. So the other option there is friction. So let me just quickly show it to you again. Okay, so the other option here is the friction. So a pipe is sized based on the allowable friction as specified in the pipe sizing dialog box. Okay, so you can make it velocity and friction. So when you do that, a pipe is sized to meet both the velocity and allowable friction specified in this box here. Okay, and you also have here or velocity or friction. A pipe is sized to meet velocity or allowable friction as specified in the pipe sizing dialog box. Okay, and then you also have the branch sizing here. Anyway, you can always press F1 so you can see what does it means. All right. So basically, this is how you create your hydronic piping system. So if you also want to create your supply, then feel free to do that. So because you have a connector here for the supply as well. All right. Okay. So hopefully, guys, you learned something from this video. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can always put it on the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, you all stay beautiful and handsome. Have a nice day.